In this video, I talk about why it's so important to plan for the unpredictable.
This is how legends are made.
I think today what I want to talk about is just sometimes how useful being put on the spot can be in certain circumstances and kind of going for the improvisation rather than over planning. And well, this came to me because I was just at a talk at a school a couple of days ago, and for a number of reasons to do with organisation on the school's part, start time was running late. So as people coming in, but it was taking a bit of time, I just thought, well, we're losing time here, let's just start something. And the thing that came to me was a particular exercise that I'd never ever done before, but I thought would be super useful. Now, all it was that as were people coming in, I thought, look, these are students, and I just checked they all had phones, to get all their phones out and to go to my Instagram. And I said, look, just go through it, scroll through it, and just grab a quote that's on there that you like and just show it to me, and I'll read it out and I'll tell you why I wrote it and what was the thinking behind it or what inspired. And what I liked about it was a couple of things, and I'll try and break it down so I'm just talking slowly. Working with children is a different process than working with grown-ups or adults. With an adult, we can deal very directly with a particular question. We can need them to process it, and we'll get some sort of dialogue back and forth, and we can engage in that form. With children, it is often easier to be less direct and more indirect and kind of more general. So a way of doing this is deflecting any attention onto them, especially in groups. So anything we can find that has a kind of a broader reach or not about them is a great way to start communication. So this process of kind of looking at my Instagram was, one, exposed me to them. They could see what I've been doing, who I was, how many followers, and so on. And automatically, I'd given them something more than they'd given me. I had given a part of me, they could see what I was doing. And I centered the whole exercise about me, which freed up the focus on them. Obviously, the reason I was there because of them, but it freed up the focus. So what was happening is I'd flick through a quote or two, pick them out, and I'd talk about it. And what I find interesting in all this is that, as I've spoken on the past about, is that I deeply believe in how the unconscious will speak to us in some form in very non-conscious ways, and how we can utilize that message or those signals for our benefit. And what I liked about this particular exercise as well is because whilst I said pick anyone you like, don't have to kind of spend loads of time reading it, just flick through, grab one, guess if you like, or choose anyone. My belief, that I find very useful, is that even if they didn't spend a lot of time looking at the quotes and just picked one random one, my belief is that the unconscious would have seen it, absorbed it and read it, and actually made it a preference for that person. And if we take that as being credible, when the person does choose by guessing the particular quote, there's still some relevancy to that person. I'll explain my version of it, go into a bit more depth, where I was when I wrote it, but it's still going to be relevant to that person. And I've kind of, in a way, got from that child something that's on their mind. Now, maybe not all the time with every single child, but maybe more often than not, what they're choosing actually echoes something inside them they're thinking about or feeling. So I had this wonderful moment of kind of bridging this communication, both between a child that has to be kind of working indirectly with this little kind of game, which was all focused about me and about what they thought of me, but still extracting from them things were happening for them, or things or conversations they were having in their own mind. And that all came out of this moment of improvisation. And to a degree, I like planning things. I think that's appropriate. But if we can allow some space, some adjustability, some flexibility, we can often find some magic things. Now, for me, this Instagram game will remain as part of the canon of the tools that I'll use, particularly when it comes to groups, because it's so effective and because it can work on so many different levels. And for me, it's just a reminder of how creative we can be when we're put in certain circumstances, how we can come up with solutions we hadn't thought of. when we have an optimistic mindset, if you like, when we are able to say, okay, what can I do with what I've got here, and just start something. And for me, this little game really worked well, and the kids really enjoyed it. I think it was a great icebreaker, and a great way that it was simply not focused on them, which I think actually in this kind of work is the real win. So bringing this into your own life, just notice that maybe there's sometimes you can come off script a little bit, and actually there's some real magic when that can happen. If you allow a bit of space for some flexibility or a bit of change, you never know what you might get. Something brand new may arrive. So plan, but plan a degree of magic. I think maybe as a lesson aside, there was something to share with you. It certainly worked for me, and the school were very happy with the whole session, and I think the students enjoyed it too. So plan for improvisation, plan in some flexibility, because I think there's some real magic inside there. But anyway, I'll leave that with you. I hope having a wonderful day wherever you are, and I'll catch you next time.
This is how legends are made.